This ESPN podcast is brought to you by GeiCo. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com.
The BS Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The BS Report. The BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the BS Report, taping this on a late Friday morning. Great sports weekend coming up. You can check out my column about the upcoming NFL weekend on Grantland. We have boxing, Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez. We have a Yankees-Red Sox, maybe Mariano Rivera's last trip to Fenway. Johnny Manziel is taking on Alabama. Seahawks-Niners, the Manning Bowl. This is quite a weekend. We could not resist calling my buddy JackO. He's at work. It's going to go about 25 minutes, and then we're going to have the czar of reality TV, David Jacoby. He's going to come on to talk about, in my opinion, a really good season of the challenge. But let's call JackO first. Here he is.
Complex Litigation, this is John.
Oh, Johnny.
That was an interesting one.
This could be it.
This could be it for what?
Enter the Sandman's last appearance at Fenway. This
Exit
could be
the
it.
Sandman.
Exit the Sandman. Is it enter or exit? It's exit?
No, it's enter, but I mean he's going
exit
walking
the
off into
Sandman.
the sunset, so this is Exit the Sandman.
It's a little emotional. I would say there's a 100% chance he's involved in Sunday's game. Just by
they'll
rule.
probably bring him in regardless.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Even if it was like 9-2, they'd bring him in. Johnny, you're having ideas about this Yankees team. You didn't expect this.
I'm like Al Pacino. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. I was getting hopeful before last weekend. I had ideas. I had some thoughts. I was getting a little frisky, and then that Red Sox series pretty much finished me and just locked me out. And I've stopped paying attention. Well, I shouldn't say I stopped paying attention. I stopped watching out of anger and frustration. I was like Tom Brady yelling at Aaron Dobson, basically. And but now that they have somehow played pretty well against the Orioles and gotten back into it to be only a game out, I don't want to say I'm hopeful, but at least they've made things interesting. I have no faith against the Red Sox, though, because the Red Sox have been pushing the Yankees around since like 2000, since the Aaron Boone game. That was like the last time the Yankees were the king of the mountain versus the Red Sox. So ever since 2004, the worm has turned, and I always overhype these Red Sox series to my own detriment because then I'm just a shell. And so I can't get my hopes up because, one, there's too many teams in it, and I don't know. I just can't. I just can't. I was like so exasperated there.
You sounded like our old roommate Chip.
I really did.
I want to tell him to off, but I can't.
Exactly. And, speaking of Exit Sandman at Fenway, the guy's the greatest closer of all time. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I will be lamenting his loss for the next 20 years of my Yankee fandom, but he's Superman, and his one kryptonite, unfortunately, is the Yankees' biggest blood rival, the Boston Red Sox, who have had a remarkable degree of success against him, unparalleled by any other team. So that's unfortunate, an unfortunate chink in his armor or an unfortunate blemish on his Hall of Fame resume, and disconcerting for Yankee fans because. Like last Thursday's game when they bring him in, and I just knew, I knew it was trouble because I always think that they're trouble against him. And sure enough, whoever it was started the rally. I forget, Napoli, I guess. Was it Napoli or Gomes? All these guys
Napoli got a hit. Pinch runner,
and Austin Romine, throws the ball in the center field, and away we go. And then I went to bed after almost smashing my remote to pieces, which I haven't been that angry in a while, but that's when I was really getting my hopes up after the Yankees come back and thought really we could go on a little run here. And then, it all fell apart. So he historically has not done well against the Red Sox. And so I wouldn't expect this weekend to go any differently if it comes into a crucial situation, especially at Fenway.
So we're taping this. It's late Friday morning, East Coast time, September 13th, on the precipice of one of the great sports weekends in a while. And Texas, Tampa tied in the wild card standings. Yankees a game back. Indians a game and a half back. Those frisky underdog Royals from Kansas City, 2.5 back. Baltimore, 2.5 back. I'm going to cross off the Angels at 9.5 back. No offense, Angels.
No, they're done.
But really fun teams involved, especially the Indians and the Royals kind of lingering.
Yeah.
I think the only team, I don't want to say I'm rooting against them because I don't totally care, but, Tampa's been in the playoffs a few times. I think we'd all be okay with no Tampa in the play-in game. But, if it was like a Yankees-Royals all-in one-game playoff, oh.
Boy, George Brett, Pine Tar, the 80s, there you go.
Greg Nettles and George Brett fighting at third base.
That's right.
Chambliss knocking over fans, running off the walk-off.
That's right. I'm old enough to remember when the Royals were a huge Yankees rival. I grew up hating the Royals because it was always them and the Yankees in the ALCS every year.
Yeah, you could argue it's like a borderline 30 for 30 that we probably would make like the final cut of the last batch of ideas and then we'd cross it off. But that Royals run, like they couldn't get by the Yankees for years and years and years and years and years, and then they finally got by them that one year.
I should know this, and this is like a Mad Dog question because when he was on Mike and the Mad Dog, he always loved these crazy like tiebreaker scenarios. And what happens if you have like a four-way tie for the wild card? Is there like a play-in and then a play-in for the play-in?
It's a play-in.
Yeah, or is it like based on? Is there some kooky tiebreaker like head-to-head record or baseball doesn't really do that though. Usually it's a play-in game, right?
Well, the other interesting thing with the play-in game is if a team felt super confident in the play-in game, so like let's say Texas makes it, but it's against the Yanks.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? We're not throwing Darvish. We're going to save Darvish for game one. That's how good we feel. Like, that'd be the ultimate FU.
Yeah, oh my God, that really would be. But then if that burns you, you get fired the next day and you get second-guessed for eternity. So
I actually forgot when I did a podcast with my dad, and I actually forgot about the play-in game this year. In my defense, baseball changes its rules every year.
It's a good point.
But,
this is the first year of the double wild card. So
yeah, the double wild card, I'm kind of into it. I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to be fun. I think that's going to be a fun couple days when it happens.
And it could be one of those sports things where, the old nobody believed in us and you win one play-in game and suddenly you're playing with house money and then the team gets on a roll. And,
right. Well, the two sports where that happens pretty consistently is baseball and hockey.
Yeah.
Oh, you just get hot and then all of a sudden you have a head of steam and you're just beating anybody and there's no rhyme or reason to it.
The one thing, the Yankees obviously have been helped. They've been helped by A-Rod, who has vastly improved their third base situation offensively. But the trade for Soriano, which at the time was kind of like a throwaway, has been phenomenal, and he's been rejuvenated in New York, and he's just been an offensive explosion and extended their lineup and helped Cano out. His presence and A-Rod's presence, they have a formidable lineup now, at least 1 through 5, and or 1 through 6, arguably. But I would feel much more confident if they were riding a hot pitcher who just couldn't lose. That's what always seems to happen in baseball. Is some guy either comes out of nowhere or gets hot in September. And Sabathia would be the guy you would think that would be doing that, and he looks like he's spent, and Kuroda looks like he's spent. Nova's been really, really good, but I don't know. I'm not quite ready to ride Supernova as the guy we're going to ride into the playoffs, Do you, in retrospect,
teaming semi-washed up veteran power players with A-Rod, maybe you should have gotten more of them? Was that part of the thinking behind the Soriano trade?
Could be.
Let's put Soriano with the biggest cheater in baseball in the last 15, 20 years and see what happens? That's
right. Magical things happen. You could make the same argument, of course, about guys like Napoli and Gomes, and they're mixing in the locker room with a guy like Big Papi,
I don't appreciate it.
Seems to be a strange turnaround.
Johnny, there's never been any evidence that Big Papi did anything.
Except for his failed test from 2003.
Well,
for some mysterious, we still don't know ailment, right? Not ailment, some mysterious supplement.
To be fair, he failed a test for something. It could have been Sudafed, Johnny.
Absolutely. I'm sure it was.
How do we not know it wasn't Sudafed?
Well, I don't have any proof to the contrary. That's true.
Yeah, well,
except what my eyes tell me.
Soriano, 45 games, 15 homers, 47 ribbies, 531 slugging. He's on pace. Like if you extended this into if you prorated his stats into a full season, he'd be on pace for like 53 homers.
Yeah, he's been huge. Maybe he's happy to be back in New York. Maybe he never wanted to leave.
The other thing that happened, Johnny, not that you care, but he swung thousands and thousands of fantasy leagues. Especially if you're in an AL keeper league. Yeah, this league I'm in, it's been a bloodbath between my friend Mike Mendelson and our friend Dave Beltramini, who you don't know. And Mike picked up Soriano, although he had like $35 left or something like that for auction money, and just got Soriano. And Soriano is actually going to swing our league. And we can't be the only league where this has happened.
Oh, sure, it's happened
Soriano,
elsewhere, too.
the Cubs gave him away. Aren't they paying like a big chunk of his contract?
Most of it, yeah. Absolutely. That was a
insane.
Fantastic trade.
It really is. He looks good, too. I mean, he's scary when he comes up.
Yeah, he's legit.
It's interesting. I was talking to my friend Daniel today, who's a crazy Red Sox fan. And he's like hell-bent on getting the Yankees in the wild card. Like, he thinks this would be the greatest. We're going to kill them. It'd be great. What a perfect year to get the Yankees. We'll beat the hell out of them. We'll sweep them.
Just break their spirit for once and for all.
I don't want to see the Yankees. No, thanks. I'll pass. You know what? I'm going to pass.
A cocky Red Sox fan. They don't learn from history. You know, those that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. So that's the one flicker that's still lingering in the back of my mind, or flickering in the back of my mind, is the overconfidence of the Red Sox fan.
I know.
I mean, if there's a god, the sports god, the karma will come back and bite them right in the ass on that. Because, I mean, I have Red Sox friends on Facebook, and a buddy of mine, Steve, from high school, was with his kids at Fenway a couple of weeks ago and was in a box with 2 World Series trophies. He's like, oh, my kids don't realize how lucky they are.
Right.
They're already molding the one for this year. And it's like, sports gods don't take kindly to that, especially with the history of the Red Sox.
Well,
take it easy.
Yeah, and there's 2 groups that are in that. One is the people that jumped on in 2004. Right. Or derisively called back home the Pink Hatters.
Right, the Pink Hats who have no knowledge of the history, right.
Right. And actually, that's the only really way you can anger me, is if you send me an email when you're ripping on me and you call me a Pink Hatter in the email.
Oh, well,
with the Red
not
Sox.
A Pink Hatter.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying if some random reader, it's like,
right.
How dare you?
Yeah.
But then, and the other group is just the irrationally confident Red Sox fan who's been around for all the good and bad, but we won the 2 World Series and now their chest is pumped out. And
exactly.
That's Daniel, but that's who he is. I mean, he's like that with anything. I get it. I'd rather not play Mariano Rivera in his last year in a playoff series if that's possible. I'd like to avoid that. Right. I'd rather play a happy to be there team like Kansas City or Cleveland or, who else is a possibility? I guess those would be the 2 happy to be there teams.
Well, Cleveland would be interesting. The return of Terry Francona to Fenway, you know.
Oh, but we got that. We're going to leak a whole bunch of stories about him right before the playoff series. There's more ammo.
We have empty pill bottles, right?
We have more unsubstantiated gossip that we could throw out at him to sully his good name.
Exactly.
That'd actually be the fun storylines. The Royals would just be out of control fun. That would just be the best if the Royals and the Pirates were both in a playoff round.
How about a Royals Pirates World Series? That would be awesome. Bud Selig would commit suicide, but it would be awesome except for that part.
Well, it would be funny if it was. You could potentially have I guess the Royals and Red Sox could not play in the ALCS, right? That's impossible.
Right, I think because they would play in the first round.
But you could get. Could you get? I guess you could get Royals, Tigers, and Pirates, Dodgers.
There you go.
If you wanted like 2 big market, small market matchups. But
yeah.
I saw. I don't know if you follow Magic on Twitter.
No.
Well, you're missing out, my friend.
I will rectify that mistake.
Probably my favorite Twitter account. He gets so excited about the Dodgers sometimes. It's just like a series of exclamation point tweets, and I always enjoy it. I saw him yesterday because we were doing something for the NBA show, and I was talking about how last week was a big exclamation point leak. He was laughing, but he was saying he was saying he was scared of the Red Sox. He came out and said it. He said that's the team we're looking at. Like, we're hoping somebody knocks you guys off.
Of course, who wouldn't be afraid
He might
of
have
the
just
Red
been
Sox?
being nice, but I felt good about it. Made
They're
me feel
freaking
good.
juggernaut. Of course you should be afraid of the Red Sox.
I will say the beard thing has really gained steam as the season went along. I mean, it does feel like a hockey team.
It's like 2004, some stupid, we're a bunch of group of idiots, but this year we're hairy idiots. Everybody eats that.
You love
that
it.
up.
You love it.
Now, if the Yankees, I should say, when the Yankees don't make it, I'm going to petition to be allowed on the Dodgers bandwagon because of Donnie Baseball. Trying to get Donnie Baseball a ring, as bittersweet as that would be to see him get it in another uniform, or at least he would get one. That would be good.
See, I feel like, in my opinion, you're on that bandwagon anyway. You're rooting for them.
Baseball.
They're in the other league. You can root for them. I'm rooting for the Dodgers.
And then if not the Dodgers, I mean, I think it's every American's duty after that to root for the Pirates because of they've been out of it for 21 years. So you got to root for them. That's a great feel-good story.
I actually have a theory on the Pirates.
Yes.
There's been too much pain and too much and not enough anything. And I think when they make the playoffs, it's going to mean so much. It'll just suffocate everybody.
Really?
They'll be down 1-0 in the second inning of the first game, and the fans are going to just have deer in the headlights. It's too much. Like, you can't have that kind of drought and then respond appropriately. I think the tension is just going to be like 2003 Red Sox level, but even worse because anything that goes wrong, they're going to freak out.
Yeah, well, I think it might go the other way. I think they might just be happy to be there.
Happy-go-lucky? Interesting.
Like when the Red Sox first got back into being good in 95 when they were in the playoffs and they got swept by the Indians and fans were giving
we got swept.
And the fans were giving a standing ovation to Boban.
We got swept. That was the crucial part of that story.
They were happy, but the fans were happy to be there. The same thing might happen in Pittsburgh, yeah.
Well, who's not rooting for Pittsburgh?
Absolutely.
It's like rooting against cancer. Or rooting for cancer. Rooting for cancer.
Yeah.
Rooting against Pittsburgh.
And we spent time in Pittsburgh, so it's a fun city. They deserve to have the Pirates be good.
Yeah, it's weird. Pittsburgh gets a bad rap from people. I like
Pittsburgh.
Why. We've had very good times in Pittsburgh and Milwaukee.
Absolutely. Pittsburgh, Iron City, Three Rivers. What's not to like?
I've been to my share of bad cities over the years.
Yeah.
Including maybe one last summer. And listen, you appreciate a city like Pittsburgh.
Right.
It was good. We liked it.
It was fun. We were there when we were young, but it was maybe that made it more fun, but it was good. It was everything you're looking for. It's got, greasy food and good beer and
well, apparently that ballpark is absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, I would like that. I went and watched the game when we were at Chip Kane's wedding. We went to the 1994 Marlins Pirates game that America wasn't really waiting for at Three Rivers, and it was Three Rivers was one of the cookie cutter 1970s football mainly stadiums, and it was not really aesthetically pleasing. So the new one looks nice. You can see the rivers and the bridges and all that, so that's nice.
The girls from Pittsburgh really run our hearts. Very hospitable. We appreciated that in the mid-'90s.
Absolutely.
It's hard to find hospitable girls in the mid-'90s.
Absolutely. Especially coming from Holy Cross.
Yeah. So, Yankees.
Yeah.
Where are you Sunday night?
Well,
where's your team? Where's your team in the standings? And Sunday night at 11:55. Actually, the game will still be going on at 11:55 p.m.
I have been remiss in not knowing who the Rays are playing this weekend. Do we know who they're playing?
I can find that out for you, Johnny. I brought my mini iPad to help prepare for the podcast. It's loading a little slow because I'm in the Grantland studio.
I have no faith with the Yankees against the Red Sox, and I have no faith, especially at Fenway.
Oh, you have Tampa's at the Twins. That's not great for you.
That's not helping me at all. There, is it?
They don't really have a lot of good players left.
Who's Cleveland playing?
Cleveland is playing.
Here's a question I haven't.
They're at the White Sox, who are 30 games under 500.
They're brutal too. This is not shaping up.
The Orioles are playing the Blue Jays,
and the Orioles play the Blue Jays. Oh, yikes!
The only one where it's two good teams going head to head are the Athletics and the Rangers.
I kind of wish David Stern was running baseball, because if David Stern was running baseball, they definitely want the Yankees and the Red Sox both to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
you think they'd have a home plate umpire?
Went the Yankees' way. Like Reggie Jackson might be the home plate umpire, that kind of thing.
That'd be interesting.
But I don't have a great deal of faith in the Yanks making a run here.
I'm glad you're rooting for Donnie Baseball.
I think what happens is that the AL East teams, like the Orioles and the Rays and the Yankees, they all play each other probably over the next couple of weeks. They beat each other up, and Cleveland comes right up on the outside while they're beating each other up, and they sneak in there. Yeah, that's my prediction.
My dream scenario is if the Red Sox lost. This is obviously my dream scenario would be the Red Sox win.
My dream scenario involves the Red Sox losing as well. How ironic.
If the Red Sox lost, then my dream scenario would be a Dodgers-Yankees World Series.
That would be awesome.
With the Dodgers beating the Yankees.
Yes.
And then all the Yankee fans feeling so conflicted that their team just lost and they're devastated, but there's a sobbing Don Mattingly who finally got a ring.
Yeah, absolutely. That would cushion the blow, certainly.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't even just cushion the blow. You'd feel bad about yourself. You'd feel bad that you felt happy because your team lost.
Happy? I wouldn't feel happy.
You would even feel happy, though. You'd feel happy for Donnie Baseball. Yankee fans love Donnie Baseball.
No, without question.
I posted a picture of me and my two kids with Donnie Baseball.
And your father.
And my father on Facebook just for my friends. And every Yankee fan I had emailed me, and just including you, just like, oh, my God, what the hell was that?
I know.
How did that happen?
I know.
It's Donnie Baseball.
I was very
By the
jealous.
way, fantastic guy. I love Donnie Baseball.
Of course. And you said he talked to you about Larry Bird.
Talked some Larry Bird. Seemed well grounded. The thing with them, though, is they do have the Puig potential for them in the playoffs is pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Where it'd be like, and there's been a late change to the Dodgers starting lineup for Game 4. Yasiel Puig has been scratched after the team couldn't find him for 18 hours.
Right. They were able to ride Fernando Mania in 81, though, a hot rookie, into the World Series. Maybe they'll do the same thing with Puig.
We met Fernando on the field.
Oh, and, yeah?
He might be 85 years old. There's a good chance that when he came up to prominence in, 81?
Yeah.
He might have been like 42 then. I think he's the Dikembe Mutombo of baseball.
Nice.
It's unclear what his age is, but who the hell knows? Are you watching Breaking Bad or no?
No, I never started watching that. No.
Because you don't like good television?
I'm disappointed because on Twitter everybody's always like, oh my God, Breaking Bad.
I know, it's like the Rob Schneider orgasm guy.
Exactly.
Sketch. It really is.
Yeah, so we always meant to start watching it, my wife and I, and then we just never did.
Well, you can still watch it. It's on Netflix.
I know, but it's now it's like I have to watch out for spoilers. And how many seasons in is it? Several, right? 5, 6.
You'll cruise through. Plus, you've always wanted to do crystal meth, so
exactly. So there you go. That's true. It's right up my alley. One of my hobbies.
You can live vicariously through it. All right, Johnny. If anything crazy happens, we're gonna call you on Monday. But if not, we'll talk closer to the playoffs. But wait, you know what I'd really love? When was the last time the Yanks and Sox got a little testy? Like.
Well,
when was last time they were actually like fists flying?
It was probably that Zimmer game that I was at, right? That was in 2003, the famous Kareem Garcia-Zimmer one. I don't know if they've gotten a little scrappy since then.
Veritek A-Rod.
That's true.
That was 04.
That's true. I try to forget about that one. Yeah. 04, that's right. That was probably the last one.
But ever since then, you guys
it's not the Yankee way, Bill. We're too dignified at that. We just like to be a victim,
We throw at you constantly, hoping for retaliation.
Absolutely, I know. It's ridiculous. And it's not the Yankee way, though. We still haven't retaliated for Dempster throwing at A-Rod.
Yeah, Dempster, granted there's 3 weeks left, but he's locked up the least valuable player award for the Red Sox this season.
Please, come on.
Every year there's a whipping boy on the Red Sox, and this is the one this year because very upset at him that he got the Yankees season rejuvenated.
They were kind of juvenated before that, but
it was really it was a tipping point. And then on top of it, I don't trust him in any big game against any good team, and it just I'm annoyed by him. And,
well, he's not going to be anywhere near the rotation though in the playoffs, right?
I sure as hell hope not. But isn't
Buckaroo back now?
Yeah, but who knows? That guy. He's like one of those cars that just you go out one day and doesn't start.
Yeah, he's made out of porcelain. That's true.
And then
That's
if he's not involved, then all of a sudden, somebody's going to have to start Game 4 of a playoff series.
Does Buckaroo pitch this weekend against the Yankees?
I don't like your derisive Buckaroo nickname. It feels insulting.
I mean, good. That's how it's intended.
I think you're getting him on Sunday probably for about 85 pitches.
Great. Good. And the Yankees have Kuroda. Who else? Well, Phil Hughes pitched yesterday, mercifully, but I think David Huff is probably involved, right?
I think you'll win tonight. It has all the makings of Kuroda with the 2-hitter through 7.
He hasn't had any of those.
John
lately.
Lackey pitched. Well, you're going against John Lackey, the guy who doesn't get run support ever, and who against the Yankees is a mortal lock to give up 4 runs in 6 innings because that's what he does.
It's a new Lackey, though.
It's not really a new Lackey. You think it is, but it's not. It's the same one wearing the new Lackey costume. You'll be up 4-1 in the 7th on an unearned, and our only run will be an unearned run, and then the Beards will get going, and we'll probably rally back.
Yeah, there's no way the Yankees. If the Yankees win a game, it'll be miraculous this weekend in Fenway. The Red Sox want to put their foot on their neck and finish the job. So finish the job they started last weekend, and I have every confidence that unfortunately they will do so.
Do you think Mike Carp? I mean, it's early, but do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Well, he's certainly well on his way. Let's put it that way.
How old is he? I mean, 2 more years like this, I think he's in.
No question about it. No question about it.
I like this Red Sox team. I've enjoyed this season.
I can tell.
As we've discussed, I scaled it back this year. I just watched the games. I didn't get caught up in the advanced metrics.
There you go.
Just kind of
kept it simple.
Just kept it simple. Had them on. Didn't really go overboard. I felt like I only got mad maybe 2 or 3 times the whole year. I felt like I had the right demeanor. I'm really proud of how I handled this season.
Come on, they're on pace to win 100 games. There's no reason for you to get mad.
That part really helped. But even like the Iglesias trade, where he goes to Detroit and immediately becomes a staple on top 10 plays. Just every night he's on top 10 plays. And even that I think I handled well. Maybe I'm just getting older.
Could be. Yeah. It's a sign of maturity at long last.
All right, JackO, we'll either talk to you on Monday or we'll talk to you closer to the end of the week. But worst of luck this weekend.
And you as well.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, before we get to our next guest, the czar of reality TV, Dave Jacoby. Hi, Dave.
It's been a long time, Bill. I'm happy to be back.
Well, you have your own podcast now. Yeah. It's stupid to be on mine when you already have.
Of course. I'm a little hungry, though.
You're hungry?
Yeah. I want to eat something fresh, maybe.
Maybe a 6-inch or a 12-inch?
Maybe.
From Subway?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That sounds good.
I wish there was some way I could just listen to maybe the latest sandwich they have or something like that.
I think there is. You should go to Subway.com.
Let's listen to
this. Is that the website?
Let's listen.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Watching the game or feeding the team? Subway caters. With everything from box meals and giant subs to sandwich platters starting around $35. So get the gang together and get your game day feast on with Subway caters. Order online at Subway.com. Subway. Cater fresh.
The Czar, you haven't been on in a while.
It's been a while.
Challenge, 5th Professional Sports coming to an end.
I'm excited about it.
This week was really great. Really great. They call it, and maybe the best title they've ever had.
The titles have been really good.
Titles have been good.
They've been really solid. Like D'Amnesia. Do you remember that one? That was brilliant.
That was this week. D'Amnesia.
D'Amnesia was last week, I believe. And I respect.
No, D'Amnesia was this week. It was
I respect
Wednesday.
that they never went with Carpe Diem. You know what I mean? Because it's so low hanging fruit. They've been really good.
Didn't think of that. They probably have in the past.
I really think that Diem and CT are Will and Kate. They're the closest thing we have to sort of a royal family. Is the challenge character.
Interesting. You had Frank on a podcast.
Yeah.
And Frank said he thought CT and Diem. By the way, we're going to talk about the challenge for the rest of this podcast. So if you don't care, I would just turn it off.
That's fine. Yeah.
Might do a little Breaking Bad at the tail end. CT and Diem. Frank insinuated that they did it for the cameras because if you pretend you're having a rocky up and down relationship, that's actually good for more camera time.
And ever since he said that, I've been viewing their relationship through that filter, and his story checks out over and over and over again.
Great point.
Over and over. Like there seems to be no true romance between them. It just seems to be like CT doing his little flirty thing. It's complete BS.
I was thinking if there was a Grantland reality show. And it was done like the challenge, and everybody's goal was to be on TV as much as possible. there would be fake relationships with Blossom.
Yeah, there'd be
like
fake
you and
arguments.
Juliet would go.
You fake everything.
You go to Sal and people would be like, "What's going on with those two? I saw Jacoby's arm around her."
Yeah,
but you'd be doing all that stuff intentionally because that would become a plot on the show.
Yeah, because I want to come back next year.
Yeah. You want to be back. You want to have a chance for the $100,000. So I do think that's why they do that stuff. And I do think Camila, who I always delivers.
The thing about Camila that I find so impressive, the way that she can vacillate from like sane, reasonable person that calms you down when you're freaking out to a complete maniac. That turns into like a zombie psycho person that wants to kill everybody. It took 3 women to hold her down, and one of those women was Emily Schramm, who I think is the most powerful weightlifter in the country, if not the world.
And one of the world's greatest athletes.
Absolutely.
The non-cheating Marion Jones of this generation.
She is.
Camila, Brazilian?
Yes.
Just, it's coming every year. It's like a challenge tradition. She gets mad. Johnny pushes her buttons. They dated 1,000,000 years ago. It still bothers her for some reason. Yeah. He does a couple more tweaks.
He knows exactly what to do.
Almost like it's watching somebody with a pit bull just like smack them across the face with a steak, but they can't get the steak.
Camila's rage fits are so good to me because like there's a difference between like a hurricane and an earthquake. Right. A hurricane, it's like, oh, a couple days, like here it comes. It's got a name. It's like, here comes George. Like it's coming. Everybody, batten down the hatches. And an earthquake, it just happens. Then I feel like Camila's rage fits.
You're just shaking.
Camila's rage fits just come out of nowhere, and you're just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like you could just not have like the right type of orange juice, and she would freak out.
I think if they had stats for the challenge, and you could look at them like we look at like basketballreference.com.
Yeah.
And you just looked at Camila's points per game per season. First of all, she's 82 games every year. She never comes out.
Never. Yeah. She always makes it to the end.
Always 38 to 40 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. I think she has a high PER. Mm-hmm. I think her stats would be much better than you'd even expect. I think you'd be like, wow, she's made 7 All-NBA teams?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I didn't realize she was on that many.
Like when you look back,
she was in the finals 3 times.
Like writers will be like making a case for her for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and it's a legitimate case. It's like you're probably not going to make it.
Jonah Carey would be getting like really upset and pious about it.
Yeah.
As long as Camila's not in there.
If you're going to let Paula Walnuts in, then you really got to take a hard look at Camila's stats.
Right.
You know?
She's had some affairs.
Yeah.
She had her tumultuous Johnny Bananas romance.
Yeah, Johnny Bananas, even like on a podcast, he was saying that there might have been some recreational drug use during the filmings from Camila.
All
kinds of great stuff from her.
The biggest swing of hot 1 minute to not hot the next.
Huh? I've asked my wife this multiple times. I'm like, is she attractive?
Oh, she's definitely attractive.
Is she?
Yeah. Oh, she's attractive.
So you say definitely, but for me, the same way that she vacillates from sane to insane, she also vacillates to attractive to unattractive.
I just think it's a tough show to be on because the cameras are 2 feet away from you at all times, and sometimes, especially if you've been out the night before, you're not going to look great. I'll defend Camila's attractiveness.
Good for you.
I like her.
Now, you mentioned the cameras being in your face. Something happened this week I want to talk to you about, Bill.
She had a whitehead and didn't pop it?
No, that happens every week.
Oh.
CT and Dean were about to go into a room to have an argument.
Yeah.
And both Bananas and Paula.
They pointed to the camera.
Yeah, they pointed to the camera. They were like, go, go, go. The editors, because they easily just cut out of that shot earlier. And it established the fact that there is a relationship between the production staff and the cast. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, they're clearly locked into this mansion in the middle of a jungle, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single street.
Make buddies of the camera.
There's no driveway. So they're living with them for 2 months. They have to be I'm not going to say, but close friends with the production staff, the producers, the audio people, the PAs, the cameramen.
So closer than, say, I am with Podcast Joe.
Much closer.
Okay.
I mean, not that you and Podcast Joe, you're growing a strong relationship.
The guy who runs our podcast, for those of you listening, we call him Podcast Joe. He produces the podcast.
Yeah, he does a great job.
And by the way, Podcast Joe, great gimmick.
Yeah.
I really feel like I've said this. I think he could be a store at the Grove.
Well, there's 2 things about
he could sell shirts.
Just kidding.
He could sell fancy short sleeve dress shirts.
There's 2 things.
Where'd you get that shirt? Podcast Joe.
2 things about the Podcast Joe nickname briefly when we'll get back to the challenge. One is I'm not sure he likes it. We've never had that conversation with him.
I don't care.
Yeah, it works.
It's
and then 2, I kind of feel bad for Joe Mead. You know what I mean? Because he was the original Podcast Joe on the BS Report.
That'll happen, though.
Shout out to Joe Mead.
Back
to the challenge.
But in our defense, we never came up with the nickname Podcast Joe for Joe Mead.
Who would have thought of that? It's so creative.
Yeah. We were so focused on the fact that he spent his bachelor party at the U.S. Open. It's hard to come up with a nickname.
So this house is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm getting at with this is, there's got to be some romantic relationships between the staff and the cast.
Well, we saw that happen in Real World Seattle.
Oh, it was excellent. It was excellent. This is the real world. This is the realest thing you got. Got this. This is the realest thing you got. I've been trying to find that on YouTube forever.
He's an actor now, as we found out on that season.
Yeah.
I feel like we have too much inside info, though. Like, I almost wish the Frank podcast didn't happen, because one of the things Frank said was how bad CT smells.
Yeah.
And then every time, like, CT's around, somebody's in a doorway and his arms are up, I'm just focused on how bad he must be.
Then look at the reaction of the other
like,
people.
Like, trying to circle back away from him.
It's the CT storyline has been interesting this year. Like, CT has evolved over the years as well. Like, he was always the silverback.
Like the way animals do?
Well, the way animals do over, say, like 1 million years, he has. Because he's an advanced species, CT.
Like how, like, my dog Rufus has evolved? Like he's mellowed?
Yes,
or has he actually gained intelligence, you think?
Much more the former, not the latter. Yeah, he's softened up a little bit. He's the softy silverback now.
He told somebody that I know that he was upset because he didn't think I liked him. And nothing has made me more upset, I think, in 2013 than hearing CT felt like I didn't like him. Who doesn't like CT? I love CT.
And anyone that doesn't like CT is so scared of CT that they're intimidated into liking him.
Sprinkle CT into any part of my life and I'm happier.
Yeah, exactly. Is there any party you've ever been to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, CT's here.
CT ruined football on Sunday.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
CT's on this show. This is going to suck. I love CT.
I'm sorry, Bill. There's something I have to tell you. CT is going to be an intern at Grantland for the next month.
Or if you said, like, I have CT on a podcast, I would go ape shit.
Yeah.
So that was a bummer. And then on top of it, like, it really bothers me when people call him Chris. You've broached this in your column.
Yeah.
I feel like your gimmick's your gimmick. Like, if Superman's dressed up as Superman, I don't want anybody calling him Clark. He's wearing the costume. He's Superman.
There's a big S, not a C on his chest.
CT's in a challenge. He's CT. He's not Chris. He's not Christopher. Like, don't do that, DM.
Yeah, don't. And Knight did it. I was like, Knight,
Knight did it.
You have not earned enough strides to do that.
All right, let's talk about D-amnesia.
Okay.
So the whole episode this week was revolved around DM, who is really one of the least likable challenge people, but she's had 2 cancer battles. So you always feel bad when you feel like you don't like her or you're rooting against her because she's a cancer survivor.
She's kind of bulletproof for criticism.
She really is. And it's annoying.
I took the bulletproof vest off on the column this week.
You
I look
did?
forward to you reading it. Yeah. I mean, she was so ridiculous this episode.
Well, first of all, checklist of things I hate on anyone in the challenge. 1, being afraid to go into a challenge. Mm-hmm. You're on the challenge. You don't get, just because you've been on 3 other challenges doesn't mean you don't have to walk the walk every once in a while. There's no way to avoid it. Like, stop being a pussy. And then 2, she's going to have to go against... You're down to the final 3 teams on each side.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go against one of these 2 anyway. You're going to have to climb that mountain at some point against them in the finals, whoever it is. Like,
you're going to have to beat them.
The Grim Reaper's coming. Like, just admit it, own it. Like, don't freak out about it.
The only person in the history of the challenge that had the appropriate attitude about going in was Marlon. He's like, you know what? We're going in. I'm not even going to bother politicking. I'm just going to go in and win because that's what I have to do. No one has ever just accepted their fate. It's like, you know what? I'm going to have to go in and win this. I'm going to have to earn this money.
This is the big flaw in Bananas' Hall of Fame resume.
But Bananas is in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm saying this is the nitpick for Bananas.
He does it with
years
his brain.
and years and years of him trying to weasel out of challenges.
There's a lot. That's all he does. That is his game.
He's like the Chris Webber of the challenge.
That is
like
his game.
He never wanted the ball in the last 2 minutes.
And this episode, remember when he pulled Deem aside? He's like, "Well, it seems like you've been letting everybody else hear it about, but you know who really caused this problem?" And he's talking about CT. Like he's a little bit of a stir, Bananas.
Oh, a little bit.
He's I think he's just trying to entertain himself, really, more than anything else. And he's pointing to the cameraman like, "Go shoot that."
He's probably smarter than anyone else on the show, with the exception of Wes, who owns 30 businesses.
Yeah.
And a Hummer and a Ferrari. What else did he own?
He has a Porsche, a Ferrari, a house, a monster truck, and 30 businesses.
No corroboration for half the stuff.
Here's my thing about them. If you own a monster truck in today's day and age, I think the only reason you would own a monster truck is so you can take a picture of yourself with it and put it on Instagram.
Or you live in Texas.
Yeah, where you need one for function. Yeah, there's not too many places where it's like, oh yeah, I needed this monster truck just for function, not just for fun.
So MVPs, I don't think it's too early to hand out awards for the season.
No, even though the season's over.
The challenge is next week, right?
No, they have two more episodes. They're going to travel somewhere.
The last episode always
the last 2 or 3 episodes. It's already turned the corner. It's already turned the corner where it's like no fun anymore. Now it's like literally it's turned into like Hard Knocks. It looks more like a Hard Knocks than anything else. They work out for 45 minutes.
So at this point, we know who the winners and losers are for the season.
Yeah.
I think Paula has cemented her Hall of Fame candidacy.
She's
really a great competitor.
I may or may not have gone to her LinkedIn profile. Mm-hmm. And she lists her job as guest bill.
Challenge?
Talent at Bunna Murray Productions.
Oh, wow.
So if you think about it, now look at it.
That's excellent.
Look at it through her filter. She said, this is my career.
Yeah.
This is what I do. So now that I've committed myself to this, let me be the best at it I can be.
She's a long distance runner.
She's a long distance runner. She made that clear. And she also is excellent at sound bites. Like she delivers in those interviews because she knows she's a veteran.
And she has figured out not to have those meltdowns anymore during the season. She was always good for 1 or 2 meltdowns. Yeah. Now she kind of flies under the radar and just wins the challenge.
Do you remember her in the Key West? Do you remember her in Key West, dude?
Well, she had huge eating disorder.
She was covered in scabs that she would pick. Like she looked like an extra in like a Breaking Bad scene. Yeah, it was like
big turnaround.
It honestly, if you would have said this is the way that she would be a television star, that would be kind of like the storytelling smart one of the group
on a competitive
on the
fifth American professional sport.
Yeah. Are you sure it's not the 4th?
You'd put it ahead of hockey? How dare you?
Football.
What do you mean?
National Football League it's got some competition. We're coming after you.
Football, basketball, baseball, hockey. The challenge. Then MLS.
Then we'll see. We'll see.
The soccer people are going to come at me. All right, so MVP of the season.
MVP of the season. I'm going to have to give. This is very difficult. You're putting me on the spot.
I'm giving my job.
I'm giving the MVP of this season to Johnny Bananas.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why.
But it could change right now.
No.
He's leading with 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, he's leading with 2 weeks to go. He could shut it down. He could basically shut it down. It's like the batting title. Yeah, it's like the batting title. He could shut it down. I'm giving it to Johnny Bananas because he's like the Jalen Rose podcast. He gives the people what they want. Like he knows how to keep the storylines going. He knows how to stir up all this stuff. He knows how to turn somebody that's a little bit upset at something, and he knows how to make them really upset about it. Like
he makes everyone better. It's like Magic Johnson.
Exactly. He's like he makes everybody around him better or worse or better
LeBron,
for us.
Like LeBron nowadays.
He does. He lifts it. He is the tide that lifts all the boats in the harbor. You know, and the thing is he injects himself into every storyline.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of people in the house that will see, like, this is my attitude. If you guys are arguing in that corner and I'm not involved, that has absolutely nothing to do with me. But Bananas will inject himself in it, have a comment here and there, stoke the flame a little bit, and then pull them aside afterwards and kind of like let them talk trash about the other people.
Yeah.
He's sort of like a ringleader. He's kind of like the master of ceremonies there.
Yeah, he's a master in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in him romantically this season.
I don't know. Yeah, he hasn't really done much in that regard.
Just for a storyline, like a one-nighter with Camilla would have been good.
I
think he's afraid of her, though.
Yeah, he's got good reason to be afraid of her. I think it was interesting about him this season is he's kind of lost the fastball on like the verbal arguments. You know what I mean? Like, remember when Wes and CT went after him?
Or he might just be stoned.
I don't think so. I think Frank mentioned that there may be some prescription pills flying around that house.
Oh, he's a little zonked out?
There's a little bit, but I think he mentioned some Adderalls that were being used.
I think Bananas is more, he's just chill.
Yeah.
He knows it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
He doesn't care. He lets the young guys, they do the yap, 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 bark, 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 Frank and all those dudes. And
Frank is second place for MVP.
Oh, over CT.
Yeah,
CT absolutely. Started a lot of drama this year, though. Plus his body odor was... CT's body odor.
That's the third. Yeah, that's the third.
It's hot in Thailand.
That's the third. So I want to move forward. You know what I mean? So what do we do? I feel like the challenge has grown a little bit stale.
With awards.
Oh, let's go. We can do more awards. Whatever you want to do, buddy.
So you have Frank 2.
I have Frank 2 for sure.
And then CT 3?
Walnuts
3.
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year, Marlin, just unanimous.
You know what?
Incredible.
I'm going Jordan over Marlin.
Why?
I forgot that Marlon had both homo and heterosexual sex
in the same episode.
My bad. In
the same episode.
My bad. I'm sorry, Mr. J DZ, which is his rap name. I'm sorry, J DZ.
Marlon. First of all, when do the rookies get this far?
It's never happened. This has never happened.
Making history this year.
Never happened.
Second, made history with the bisexual double hookup in the
one
same episode.
Yeah,
we've never seen.
It'll never be done again.
We'll never see that again.
We'll never see that again
ever.
And then let's not forget, he's got a one-handed partner.
Yeah,
who is one of the best athletes I've ever seen
ever.
If the Patriots drafted him, and if the Patriots picked him up as a receiver, as a receiver, like you wouldn't even think twice. You'd be like, look, look, Mr. Belichick, I know he's only got one hand, but just trust me. I've seen this man do amazing things. Yeah. I've seen him do amazing things.
They did that one trapeze challenge, and I was thinking, like, this is me.
No way.
Yeah, like this up, and he just like
hang from one hand. He's amazing.
So you're saying McCoy Rookie of the Years?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were a great group.
I still think Marlon, the double hookup.
And he's good for sound bites.
Yeah.
You know, he's great. I'm into Marlon. Big time into Marlon. I think that he's going to be around for time to come.
The most emotional moment for me was Marlon and what's his partner's name?
Jordan
taking on our friend Leroy and Ty. And one of the great challenges ever that they edited in a way that I still don't totally know what happened. And because it's not really covered like the fifth professional sport.
That's the thing.
I needed like a Zach Lowe video break, like a 4,000 word Zach Lowe breakdown.
Exactly.
Here's why they didn't win this.
That's the thing.
I still don't know why.
Yeah, it's like, because as a sports television producer, I kept looking at it being like, just show the action. Like, just show me what's happening. Give me a wide shot. Like, it's not like when you're watching a basketball game, they cut from tight shot to tight shot to tight shot. They give you the wide shot, and the replays are the tight shots. Like, just show me what transpired. Because trust me, Ben Murray producers, that athletic event on its own does not need music or editing or anything. Right. That was an excellent athletic event.
I thought they did a good job with the challenges this year.
They did. They did. Like something like that.
I mean, like the send them home challenges. I mean, they were all good. There was no like, that's not a great one. I enjoyed the blindfolded one.
Yeah, I like the one where they hit each other with those sticks. I don't understand. Do you know? Explain to me how you win that one. The one with the sticks.
Blindfolded one.
Yeah.
I think you win it by tricking people with your instructions.
But what's the rules? Like, I don't even really understand the rules.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't either. The best one, though, is that football one actually could be its own sport.
The Oklahoma drill. It couldn't be its own sport because, it's like kind of like it's
illegal.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Washington football name. It's like you're just not supposed to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of wrong.
Like, it's just going to hurt people.
Yeah.
It's just created.
It's bad. You're probably better off just not doing that.
I think the one thing they could do is just one of these times just throw a total curveball and be like, wiffle ball, 2-on-2 wiffle ball.
Yeah, or they'd be like, you know what?
First to 5 runs wins. Be like, what? Like they built like a little fake Fenway.
Read this book and write an essay.
Oh, no. That'd be a trouble. Reading comprehension.
Reading comprehension.
Did they do spelling bee this year?
No, did not do spelling bee. They did not do spelling, but they replaced it. I mean, it's just, first of all, like, why do you not do that?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense.
I didn't feel like the people were drunk enough this year, too. I think it's getting a little too serious with the competitiveness.
Absolutely.
And they didn't take nearly enough advantage of everybody gets drunk, but now we're all going to cram you in a bus and there's going to be a long ride home. Because that's always a recipe for something. There's
the lack of interaction with anybody that's not on the show is something that bothers me a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like they're so isolated. Like they don't even have that computer where they can read emails, when they do that scene.
Yeah.
It's like they never got on the phone. They never got an email. They never saw. Have you seen anybody, like any people that are from Thailand on the show?
No.
Not a single one.
It might be being filmed in Burbank. That might be why.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you change going forward? You said you had some.
I have some ideas. I think that they should do like an urban version. I think that they should be like, the challenge, New York City.
Oh.
And just like have them mix it up and have them go to nightclubs and have the challenges be inside.
You're going to say like Watts.
No. Let's go. Let's just go New York City.
Okay.
This is going to be on the Brooklyn Bridge, and we're going to suspend you over this, and they always go to these like remote locations in the middle of nowhere where there's no other human beings around. Like I think that they need to kind of like flip that on its head and put them in the middle of the streets. Like it's not like there's like look at The Apprentice. It's not like this is uncharted territory. You can film reality television shows in that city.
Why not just do it in L.A.?
Because it's not a city.
Oh.
Everybody's in their car driving around. You know what I mean? Like you don't get that kind of like out on the streets thing.
They should have people do the drive on all the way across Olympic Boulevard, the potholes and
great
the crazy
television.
drivers.
That'd be amazing television.
Oh!
That'd be great television. They're all drunk though.
What else would you change? Is there anybody you'd get rid of out of the veterans?
Well, see, here's the thing.
To me, it's like Anissa.
You've had a great run.
You outlasted your welcome by 5 years as it was.
7.
But it's definitely over now. Yeah, please go away. Please
when you
leave.
see the cast list, when they bring that day that it happens, I'm never like, yes, Anissa's back.
Nobody is. Nobody's ever said those words.
No,
yes,
nobody ever has. We know we need more Anissa. I think.
DM, I think I'm done with. Thank you. Thanks, DM.
What if they did? They should do this. This is not a new novel idea, but I think that they should have like the challenge verse with one side, because they need to flip it up. The one side is the challenge. The other side is like a motley crew of other reality television
shows. Like Teen Mom Dads.
Teen Moms. And then there's like The Situation. I'm sure he's available.
Oh, boy.
And you kind of and you break out all these people from their other shows, like the guy from Buck Wild, and you just kind of have them go against the challenge.
The lady from episode 4, season 3 of Catfish.
Yeah. The lady, or was that a guy? I couldn't tell. I think they flipped.
Interesting idea. To me, it's like if it's not broken, don't fix it.
It's starting to get a little stale, Bill. It's starting to get a little stale.
I disagree. I eat up every episode.
I do too.
I love it.
I do too. But I think that you can't let it just kind of like die in the vine.
I like your idea of putting in New York. It does need a little jolt.
Something.
It needs to put on the lingerie one day and get a little frisky.
Yeah.
Throw a little curveball. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from? Hey, whoa.
Somebody spent $100.
Bustier.
Whoa. I don't even know how to get this off.
But I would get rid of who wasn't on the show that you felt like was a big mistake.
I miss Kevin. Evan, I called him Kevin. Evan and Kenny. I miss Mr. Beautiful, and I miss Evan.
It's unclear if they're allowed on this show anymore without getting into specifics.
Yeah, that's
They've
interesting.
not been on the show since certain things happened.
Yeah.
Oh, since certain stories came out.
Really?
Have they been on since?
No. Yeah. You think that's it?
I don't know.
I just thought maybe Suck Yeah t-shirt line really blew up. And it's just an opportunity.
Oh, you think he's like a billionaire now?
Yeah, you can't leave the Suck Yeah. The Suck Yeah franchise is not just going to run itself while they're out in wherever filming it.
I miss Kenny and Evan. I miss Laurel. I think Laurel and Emily was really the LeBron versus Kobe of our generation for reality.
Yeah, Laurel's great.
Laurel versus Emily. It's like who wins this? These are the 2 of the 3 best female athletes we have.
I'd pick Emily.
I think Laurel crossed the line so badly with the Paul episode.
And when she just eviscerated everybody.
She's never been back.
When she
crossed every line.
She was making fun of the Big Easy for being fat, and then she went after Cara Maria and melted her down to tears.
Yeah, she went 9 lengths further than anybody's been on that show, and she did it like 3 or 4 different times.
Yeah,
she might be the meanest person on the planet.
I know. That's why she's good at this television show.
I think she's running Syria right now.
I didn't see that one coming.
Oh, sorry.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd bring her back because she's really mean.
Yeah.
I think her and Zach would either get really mean to each other. Zach, villain of the year? Yeah.
Zach's great.
Villain of the year.
Well, I think that Frank is the villain of the year.
Oh.
Frank isn't very nice.
I like Frank.
I love
Frank's
Frank.
Frank's a good reality character.
I would say Frank is the smartest person on the show. That's what I don't know if I agree with that. Who knows what smart is?
I don't know. Yeah, smart compared to...
Who knows? I mean, look what we're looking at. Yeah.
Let's just agree that Wes is not the smartest person on the show.
The guy owns 30 companies.
And a monster truck. And a Ferrari.
And a monster truck.
So who do you... Oh, you actually know who wins.
Yeah, I know who wins.
Yeah, I don't know who wins.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. Pretty good season, though.
It's been a pretty good season. I look forward to it coming.
My thing is, I feel this same way about The Bachelor. There should be another one going the week after it ends. Why is there an off season on these shows?
I can't get enough.
And it's more. It should be just 52 weeks a year.
Yeah, the idea that they're starting to film The Bachelor next week. Is I'm looking at that. I'm like, oh, so I have to wait 3 more months for a Bachelor? There's not like the audience.
Crank it out.
There's an audience sitting here waiting for The Bachelor. Strike while the iron's hot.
So there's not going to be a Bachelor for 3 more months? No. That's a mistake.
That's really disappointing.
That's a mistake.
I know. And this is the fall season. This is when you should be trotting out Juan Pablo.
Or at least like some sort of Jake Pavelka type something.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw this week, but they had like a Bachelor clip show this week.
Oh.
It was like a Bachelor blooper funniest moment thing hosted by Chris Harrison.
So it might be on my DVR.
Yeah. You'll enjoy that. I think you could make a clip show. I don't know why they should just have the clip show network. Just be like, look, we've got these seasons of television shows. Yeah. And we're just going to melt down the best parts and feed them to you in hour chunks. Are you not watching that?
Any big reality show on the horizon that you're excited about?
I've been looking at the horizon. I've been looking at the horizon.
Genre's a little.
Well, no. Survivor is an old standard. That's got a great new format. It's blood versus water. So basically, it's like me and you would go on it, and we'd be on separate tribes, and then like they'd be like, oh, these guys are friends or whatever, and then like we'd end up having to vote against each other, and I would screw you over for $1 million. Like that thing is going to happen.
I'd be disappointed, but then afterwards we'd say it's only a game.
Yeah, but I would know on the way in, we'd be like, Bill, I'm going to end up screwing you over. It's totally fine.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So that's going to be good. And I've got my eye on this Big Tips Texas thing. Have you seen this? Mm-mm. It's basically like Coyote Ugly, kind of in the middle. There's a bar called Redneck Heaven, which seems to be in the middle of nowhere, Texas, right?
Nice name.
I'm already in, right? Yeah. And they have kind of like barmaids, I'll call them. And I bet you can just guess what they're wearing, Bill.
Not a lot.
Yeah, short shorts, like jean shorts with the pockets hanging out the bottom.
Yeah.
And, and probably some like flannel plaid thing tied up so you can see their stomach.
My wife likes that movie. And
Coyote
she had
Ugly?
a friend staying with us 2 days this week. And I came home from dinner on Tuesday night and they were watching Coyote Ugly. And they both really like it.
It's very watchable.
And then I actually saw it in the theater, which I'm not ashamed to admit.
Opening night?
Well, it was getting promoted as the new cocktail. I had to go take a look.
Yeah, I understand.
A lot of people in that movie. Piper Perabo, who went on to become a U.S. Perabo or Perabo?
I don't know.
USA Network star. Bridget Moynihan.
Yep.
Who ended up roping Tom Brady in for a baby. Maria Bello is in it. There's a lot of people. Yeah,
it's very, really very watchable. Very watchable.
And I realized John Goodman's in it. And I was like, wow, John Goodman's in it. That's weird. Like his career was pretty good at that time.
Yeah.
And I looked up his IMDb and it's literally the point of his career where the wheels come off.
Yeah.
It's like going great. It's going great. It's going great. He's in some Coen Brother movies. He's doing good. And then Coyote Ugly, boom. It's over.
It's
a whole other, yeah.
I made a pilgrimage once to the actual Coyote Ugly.
There's one in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
A little overrated.
It's way overrated.
Yeah.
Don't be mean to me.
I was trying to be nice.
Like I was like, hey, can I have a beer? And like, you don't want a shot? Like you're a pussy or whatever. I was like, I don't want to get yelled at. I just want. Can I just have a beer? Is that okay?
You don't like getting yelled at in any form.
In any form. In any form. Don't speak to me aggressively. Don't. Just don't.
Don't do it in basketball.
Yeah. Don't. I'll flip the switch.
Don't do it if you're watching internet videos. Don't do anything.
I'll flip the switch.
All right. So the challenge, last two coming up, and then the they haven't didn't show.
The best show.
Which is the best show
again, which will be featured on the Clip Show Network once I get that off the ground.
And they put like 4 extra hookups in there that you didn't know happened. And
yeah.
Listen, I'm not ashamed. I'm 43 years old. I still enjoy the challenge.
Yeah, I'm
not going to apologize.
So I think I'm going to rope this Big Tips Texas thing. I think I'm excited about that. There's a really terrible show that I absolutely love that's out now called Eat, Drink, Love. It's really bad.
You've been watching that boat show.
Yeah, Below Deck. That one's over. It's fantastic. They just had a clip show this week. It'll be featured on the Clip Show Network when we get that off the ground.
And we should mention you have a podcast on the Ground Network called The Right Reasons.
Right Reasons.
You have your weekly
Littman.
fantasy column, which I'm not fantasy, reality column, which I really feel like you invented the reality column genre.
Comes out every Friday.
Yeah, you've become the Mel Kiper Jr. of reality.
Well.
Or maybe even the Chad Ford of reality.
I hope so. I hope one day. That's what's going to say my gravestone.
Peter Gammons of reality.
When they lower my body into the ground, I hope someone says he was the great man and he was the Mel Kiper Jr. of reality television.
Peter Gammons. Peter Gammons.
Oh, that's it. That touches my heart. Thank you so much, Phil.
You broke ground. David Jacoby, thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Target percent off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNRadio.com.
Peace out.
JackO presents Strange Saving Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, JackO, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with JackO? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
JackO, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.